live now. Oh, my phone number?
What days yesterday, they said they had that, like the formula, probably running every scenario there is. They're talking like 1 million to the Alaskans per, I was like, that's gonna really mess this up, so. I just like, I'm not even thinking about it, because it's gonna get mad.
Recording.
I know, it's like,
You're done, Mike.
you ready, Maria?
Yes.
We'll call the meeting to order at 9:13 a.m. Now, would you like to roll call, please?
District 1. Here. District 2.
Here.
District 3.
Yes.
And I'm here, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, we have a quorum. Review and approval of the minutes for 4:14 and 4:16.
Mr. Chair, there was also, I wanted to add 4:1 for a correction as well.
Okay.
Kathy,
Yeah?
the meeting minutes were emailed to you.
Well, I have no way to get it, really. Yeah, you tried my phone, yeah. Go ahead.
Okay,
What's it on?
it's on your email. Do you get it on your phone?
I'm gonna try.
Okay.
Hang on.
If not, I do have your packet here.
Oh, okay. Okay. That email went to everyone?
Yes,
Just me.
everyone.
It wouldn't be on everyone's email, though, would it?
No, just to you guys.
There it is. There we go.
Mr. Chair, for 4:1 on page 10 of 11, middle section, it reads, this is pertaining to human resources, where the essential workers, it states essential workers were chosen by directors and their services they provide. The RBC reviewed HR employee essential and non-essential list. Alan commented on the list. List is sorted by department, color-coded criteria, and native preference, retaining 70 to 80% white earth and gold, yellow, green, orange. And then it says Alan identified these positions, brief discussion held on 3 tiers, and it goes on. I'd like to make the correction that the RBC reviewed these positions because we wanted to make sure that enrolled members were prioritized on that list. So Kathy, that's when we went through that list together and we made sure that we wanted to make sure that enrolled members were being prioritized. So the language changed, because right now it kind of looks like only I identified that, when that's not the case. We as a RBC did that. So I'd just like to make the change to read, the RBC reviewed these positions.
Okay.
And then on 414, page 5 of 7, third paragraph from the bottom, it reads, I'd like to make the correction. It says Alan advised to not give a message that employees will return to work until further analysis is complete, and that the RBC agrees with this statement. I think the more accurate description would be Alan strongly advises further analysis until a full message can be made for return to work. And then on the paragraph below that for pay cuts, last sentence stated that this was purposed around 4 weeks ago and discussion was held. I'd like to just correct that to proposed. And then on,
Alright.
and then on 4, these minutes are for 416. On the bottom, it just says 414. So the date has to be corrected for that. However, on page 7 of 9, the chairman brought up the SBA loans. So it says SPA loans. So I'd just like to make the correction to read SBA loans. So those were the loans that, tribes could be possibly eligible for. So.
B as in business.
Yeah, Small Business Administration. And those were the only proposed changes I would like to make.
Alright.
We'll talk about that too, it's personal stuff. All right, guys.
Maria, I can't get my email. It won't come through on the phone here. I have to go to the office and get it later.
Okay,
So we have a motion to approve the meeting minutes.
Motion
Motion by Umsey with the changes.
with the changes.
Second.
Second by Allen, all in favor?
All right.
All right.
I didn't read them yet.
And Ray say aye. Ray? Aye. All right, motion passes. Calendar review?
you skipped agenda.
Oh, agenda.
Oh, I'm sorry, geez. We have to go back to the agenda, so. I know we're gonna bring in Scott Almus for, what was it again, for SP?
Yes.
Was it SP loans or what were we gonna?
Yeah, Scott was related to the COVID-19
Oh, yeah.
application.
Okay.
COVID-19, and then I also wanted to Redcliffe from Wisconsin. They wanted to possibly discuss because they catch fish, and they wanted to discuss on maybe getting some for our elders over here.
Good.
So
Smoked fish.
yeah.
I know, I seen some of my emails too from the Amish wanted to sell a bunch of vegetables, like 40 pounds per band member.
Oh, wow.
But it was like, I don't know, like 80, 90, 100,000, but they needed some upfront money they're from Fertile. I'm not sure if you guys know. I'll get out my email, I'll send it to you guys if you guys are interested in
You
having
can
the
produce that much?
Amish, like 30, I think it's like 36 pounds per band member. I don't know, so it's a lot
Wow.
of food. It'd be a lot of vegetables, potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
Organic.
Yeah,
Nice, yeah.
so I'll send it to everybody.
How much?
I don't know, they want like I don't know, like, I'm just gonna say around $100,000 to plant all these big gardens and give each band member like 37 pounds of vegetables. but I'm not sure if we.
Wow.
But we can look at it. I'll email to everybody.
Okay.
All right, anything else to the agenda?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, on our cleanup day, which is coming up on May 1st and 2nd, can we have those changed?
Okay, but it's on the agenda, and we can look at those dates.
Okay, I didn't see it.
Yeah, it's on the
Sorry.
Writers House.
It's on the agenda.
Yeah, we'll talk about that, Ray. That's a good question.
Well, I see that, okay, yeah, got it.
All right. Do you have anything else?
No, I guess.
Kat, do you have anything to the agenda?
No.
Okay, motion to approve the agenda.
Motion,
Motion by Ray, second by Alan, all in favor?
Right.
Motion carries. Calendar review, anything new to the calendars, guys?
The next meeting you have on, that's with Leech Lake and Red Lake tomorrow? Okay.
Yes, at 9 AM, yeah, they wanna do a look, so,
That WebEx meeting?
yeah, so,
Well, it sounds like the governor's gonna be opening up the state here, for even more, huh? Like businesses and all that.
he's slowly cracking the door open. I know he's getting a lot of pressure, but,
According to the conference call yesterday, he said, I still can't hold it tight yet.
yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
But I know there's a lot of pressure out there, like you said, we look at the businesses down in DL right now, and, you got Walmart, and it's like Black Friday every day for those guys, they're making all the money, man, so. I don't know, but it's always like we always talk about our safety and protecting our elders, but then you got a whole bunch of elders blowing up the phone because they want to go gamble.
well, didn't they just close our meat processing plant here in Minnesota too because of that COVID?
That's way down southwest Minnesota, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know that when I spoke with Barb, I called her yesterday because I started seeing some more of this push to open up the economy, and it sounds like, well, Bill, I called Bill Haas. He stated that the deed is setting up a special agency in there,
Yeah, I see that.
and that for businesses to open up, they need to have a business plan to mitigate some of these issues. Now, I talked to Veronica about that, and she stated that the tribe wouldn't necessarily be subject to those rules and regs because they don't have jurisdiction over us. But I did say to her, I said, well, if anything, I think if our standards are higher than theirs, you know what I mean, as far as our plan and mitigating factors, then I think that, it would send a strong message to our community and the state that we're taking this as serious, if not more serious than they are.
And that's one thing that they talked about too, was safety and security and also testing, and of course we got all those tests that we still have. And, it's like, yeah, and I think that's the reason why the buzz in the air with Red Lake and Leech Lake, and even like in the phone call yesterday with Upper Sioux, you listen to, what's his name, he was talking about he can open when he wants, and the governor's like, you can do, what you want. So Kevin, what's his name, Grinsdale or something? Genswell, yeah. So he kind of just gave him, okay, if you want to open up, you can open up, so. But I know we get that call today at 1:30 for MIGA, so I think there'll be some information on that coming out, so. So there might be some noise in that one, so.
You have the call-in info on that? Do you have it?
Is there a number for that?
I'll send
Right.
it, I'll text it to you guys right now.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, anything else to the calendar? Do we have our regular meeting on this Friday too?
Yeah, this is Friday. I sent the notice to you guys.
Are we gonna have any directors come in, Liz, or?
Do you want any directors to come in?
what do
You
guys
want-
think?
I don't know.
Time to be on the call, I think would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll figure it out by then.
Okay.
Because one of the good news that came out of DC yesterday was, that second waiver, that 1135 waiver came down for SUD, for substance abuse
Yeah.
disorder. So now we dose and telephone call, so it's really it's really helped everybody now, so.
Which is good.
We got that clarified, so behavioral health should be rocking and rolling by now, so.
Mhm.
All right,
Alrighty.
next up is gonna be Ed, I think.
Are you gonna address that ICW situation then?
I sent her an email just now again.
We can talk about that now. All right, Ed, you're up.
Actually, is it Dana? Dana, are you on?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. So I think I forwarded, and I don't know, did you print it too? Is it in the packet?
Under powwow.
Oh, the very first one. So I forwarded that to you guys, the recommendations. You had asked for a recommendation on the
Yeah.
powwow for June. And I invited Dr. Gardner, Ed, and Dana on to talk more if you have any more questions.
I ran into probably about 2 or 3 of the committee members, especially at funeral in Nadawash, and they had a good idea, and I'm not sure if they met yet, but they're talking about just postponing, not canceling it, but postponing until like maybe late July or August.
Yeah, I think that'd be better.
So that's what I think they were talking about. They weren't just like, just canceling it. They wanted to postpone it until things get better around here. So I said, yeah, it's probably a good idea. We gotta get something culturally back in our community when we start to heal, so. I thought that was a good idea, just to postpone it till a later date.
Well, that's not, it's not right away, just to postpone it, you know,
Yeah, postpone.
rather than cancel.
So.
Do you have any
I
thoughts
don't
on
believe
that?
anyone wants to cancel it.
Say it again.
I'm sorry, is Ed on or Dr. Gardner?
Yeah, we're both on, we're here.
Okay, from the powwow committee's standpoint, we will follow through whatever EOC and RBC decide upon. To postpone it is one of the suggestions, as well as to commemorate possibly the annual celebration that occurs in June with a very small type of gathering, if any. But yeah, whatever it is that you want to do, we understand that the funds that go for the powwow need to come through the casino, and so that has to be up and healthy, and we need to be able to fund anything we do. And that's very important to our people, but we also, as Mike said, we need to heal people back to work.
Ours, these are just, these are recommendations, and we obviously wouldn't be making the decision regarding the scheduling of the powwow here. One of the things that we've seen, affects within the nation affects Indian country here. For example, in New Mexico, 37% of all cases are Native American here. So this certainly can spread very quickly here in Indian country here. We are expecting a peak in June. That just at the same date as the powwow. So that's when we are expecting that peak of number of cases within the state. Locally here that could be earlier or later, but that's what we're expecting here from the state here. So again, these are our recommendations, and Dr. Gardner spent some time, graciously spent some time here with, I think he considered a lot of items here of how we could possibly continue to have the powwow on the scheduled date here, but there's a bunch of options in this these recommendations here.
Did you receive a copy of the recommendations from Dr. Gardner that I forwarded to Liz and Maria?
Yep.
On page 2 and again on page 4, he has 2 scenarios, and then also to follow up what Ed had stated, the information that for what's going on down in New Mexico, Arizona. Yeah, and we don't want that to happen.
Hello?
Did you hear that, Kathy?
Hi, Kathy.
No? I'm sorry.
Okay, they're talking about the powwow discussion, okay?
When do they want to have it? For Pine Point or Bigwood?
The big one, they're talking about, postponing. So they're,
Okay. I'm kind of for that.
Okay, so Dana, do you need anything from the council to put a statement out or from the power committee?
Put it in the paper. Yeah.
We can,
I think he has to. Yeah, I think a statement would be, would definitely be helpful here with the decisions made regarding the powwow.
Okay.
Is that what you're gonna do, is push it back to July? Is that
July or
right?
August?
We'll reassess in June, just reassess.
Yeah, we could just reassess in June, see where we're at, and we'll just put down postpone TBA and,
Yeah.
and then, just we'll relook at it in June around that power time and see where we're at.
Yeah.
Did you hear that, Deanna?
So they have to get their
Yes.
posted out to their contracts, they have contracts with those drums, check on that. Dana, did you guys sign contracts with those host drums?
no, we did not. We were getting the contract through legal.
Okay, good.
And so there was a delay, and then that's just when everything was happening. Same with the MCs. We don't have contracts. We don't have contracts with the vendors yet either. So I don't believe we have any concerns. We're not bound to anything as far as that goes right now.
Okay, make sure that you call them up and let them know that we're postponing them, so,
Yes.
thank you. You good?
All
Anything
right,
else?
great.
Who's next? What do you have for the next?
I'd call Mike down.
Yeah. You know, I wonder, that election board, are they implementing some, if they're peaking in June? Are they?
I know that yesterday when I did that daily announcement that Ed and them were over there with training. They
Oh,
did
they
all this training.
Yeah, EOC went over and
Training
helped them set up, yep.
Okay, good.
And then once those precincts open up, they'll
But
look at that.
this peaks in June, and are they still gonna have the precincts open? That's another,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, we moved those precincts away from those homes, didn't we?
no,
Oh, they put them in garages or something.
One went in a garage, and Bernie is supposed to be working with Bowman to figure out if there's a stand-alone trailer, or, you know what I mean, that we can use just so that has that piece, so.
I think the only
But
like
at this
6 or
point,
7
those
voters,
homeowners, they were a little concerned about having it there, but then when we pushed it back to June, they were okay with that.
But I didn't.
But if we have a peak, we may lose them, do you know what I mean?
What's
So,
the big urge to keep the town to go vote early then? That's why I
Well,
just, yeah, keep telling them to go vote early. We're open 7 to 9 or 7 to 11 every day, so.
Yeah, they can always go up there.
Mhm.
From now until then. Almost like early voting, I guess. It's very liberal.
I'll have them put something on again and communicate that out on Facebook to start encouraging.
Yeah, that'd be important because you don't want people.
well, I'm sure MCT will be having some more discussion on it too, if this thing is gonna peak in June, they're gonna be making some type of decision.
We're supposed to meet on May 1st. Oh, that was the other thing I forgot to add to the calendar. Like, May 1st is a TEC meeting on Zoom.
Where's it supposed to be?
On video,
Where's the TEC supposed to be?
On Zoom.
It's a Zoom meeting
Either one you could say.
on the computer.
Oh,
We can't hear you.
okay.
Oh, this one I like.
Talk about your DMV.
DMV. I talked to the EOC this morning and well, good morning, everybody. About maybe doing a soft opening for DMV, maybe next week. If I could do by appointment only or curbside, because as we know, you guys have been getting a lot of calls on title transfers and you've been getting a lot of calls on tribal IDs and stuff like that. So, and actually my DMV, one of my workers, is out till probably Thursday. She'll be back on Thursday, but I got another lady that's basically picking up the slack for checking mail during the day and stuff like that, and then processing tabs and stuff like that. The tab portion, we could still look at a mail-in thing, but as far as we can't do it with tribal IDs and descendant IDs and title transfers and stuff like that. So I was just looking for some guidance on that, maybe from the council, and seeing if it was okay to maybe look at maybe not this week, but maybe Monday. We could start with an appointment only. I could put a press release out that would say that we're doing title transfers and tribal IDs by appointment only, one at a time, using all the precautions that we need to do. We've already put up a spit shield in DMV already, so and stuff like that. So that's kind of where we're at with DMV. So it would probably relieve some pressure on you guys too, that you guys are getting calls that people want to title transfer.
You don't have a mobile unit you can set up outside?
I could do that too. I could set up a mobile unit, but we're still gonna have contact. I mean, there's still gonna be contact in the mobile unit, so I do have one.
Confined in that mobile unit too.
Yeah, but at least it won't be contaminating the building here.
I do have a mobile unit that we can do that. I would just have to get IT to set up the system for it, so.
If they stand outside, you know.
Well, someone gonna be there today?
No.
I know, I got two from California that
We
they said could come down at 11:30, 11:30 to 1.
we took care of that, Ray. They can.
But right now, we're kind of.
Thank you.
Right now, it's, we're not really servicing really anybody, but we could possibly do a mobile unit, but we would have to transfer all the system for the tribal IDs would have to go to a laptop and a mobile thing, and then it's gonna take a little bit of time to do that. And that would be on a separate system that we'd have to do that on. We wouldn't be able to, because our system is really not web-based. It's not really, we can't, I mean, we usually when we go down to the cities in the Iron Range, we take a whole nother system and put all our IDs on that. So it would have to be looking into that. So, I mean, I don't know if we used all the precautions and had one at a time and everybody follows the rules and saying that you're going to be here at 10 o'clock and it's going to take you 10 minutes to get it done. We're going to use all the precautions, have them come in, do it quick, get them out. I mean, I guess that's what I'm looking at. So, but we could do the mobile, we could do that, but it's going to take some time to get that set up. So.
What about curbside? If they just don't even get out of the car, you just do all the transactions through the car.
Curbside would be okay for the tabs and title transfers and stuff like that, but not for tribal IDs. We wouldn't be able to do curbside for that. The tribal IDs is what's the one that's going to be hindering us from curbside. They have to come in and they have to take their photo. One of the things that we could do for temporarily is we could say somebody loses an ID and they're in our system. We can print them an ID and do curbside for them on that.
It's just the new ones you have to have.
With the new ones, because our old system, we have a new system for our tribal IDs. So we were kind of redoing our data. So a lot of people are not on our system right now. So unless they come in and got their new ID, unless they come in and got a new one. So I'll have to look into that. And Carrie Heisler, who's working DMV, should be back on Thursday, so we can look at that on Thursday and see where that old data is at and stuff like that for the pictures. But if somebody lost their ID, we could maybe look at that too. They can call in and say, I lost my ID and I still got it on file. We could just print them one and get it to them. That's what we were going to do with this one, but a lot of them are not on our new system. So.
Well, they can just drive in your garage.
That's what I was just gonna say. What about utilizing the garage
We
to
can-
do it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I guess I'm trying to keep as little people out.
Mhm. Especially those from California.
Exactly. I mean, that's not, I mean, that's, you know, from rumor, from everything I see, all the other tribes are not letting anybody in
Yeah,
from any other state or they're not letting them in, so.
I don't blame them.
So, I mean, as far as,
Especially California.
so. But that's what I'm kind of looking for the direction from the council to see if we want to, I mean, it would relieve a lot of pressure on you guys and on, well, I don't get a whole lot of calls, but I have been getting calls and people have been utilizing the mail-in tabs and they've been doing that, so. And they could probably maybe utilize the mail-in, if they mail titles into it, they mail the title and then the sign and get that transferred and do a curbside like that. If you want us to maybe start doing that. Tribal IDs are, like I said, is gonna be really tough. I mean, it's gonna be tough to do because you need a photo.
Go with case by case.
Okay. I can do
Those
that.
ones from California, I hope they have the right ID also.
Yeah. Okay, I mean, that's all I want to do is the only other thing I wanted to talk about is the natural resources permits and the leaching permits. I haven't seen a press release on that yet. We're getting a lot of calls from people that are asking how we can, you guys passed a resolution on it last week. So I need we probably need somebody to do a press release on it and let people know that what's going on with them, because I still get people calling, asking how they can get a
did
leaching
you have
permit.
them coming in today? I have.
I just have them go to the website and look at DNR, look at Monica, shoot numbers, email, to get all of those guys.
But
I
I
think
think,
there's a signatory request today too on
yeah, for the leaching portion of it, I think so.
that. The
way I read
harvest
the,
permits we did last.
the way I read the resolution, though, I thought the resolution covered leach because it says any harvesting activities. That's what it says. I thought it covered it. But I mean, if you have to do another resolution on it, there should be a press release. I mean, because that would, if you put it on the Facebook page and you put it in the paper, put it all in the paper, knowing that people know that they don't have to have a permit, they're grandfathered in and stuff like that, that should be in a press release, so.
Hang on, I'm gonna have Monica call in because she has questions for you.
Last week, we agreed to extending last year's leaching permits for this year.
Yep.
And also the harvest permits.
Yep. But I mean, to get the confusion on it, I mean, there was.
And then the drawings, they gotta do the.
No, Will's got a plan for that.
Yeah.
I know the canoe giveaway, how we do the canoe giveaway. Is that gonna be like a virtual thing?
Virtual canoe giveaway. Yeah, when's that?
Wow, Liz.
That doesn't come until
Coming
June,
up.
1st of June,
We should be doing something on
right
that.
before the powwow.
Yeah, we'll have to do that.
You can do that virtually? Is that what
You-
we
you
talked
We'll
about?
have to.
You're gonna have to in June if there's a peak.
Choice.
I got an email, I don't know if you got it, Liz, Will put out an email for the virtual leach drawing.
Yeah.
I had that.
He's got it figured out.
Yeah, he's got that figured out, so
We can do that for everybody.
probably gonna do that, so. Was Monica gonna call in?
Yeah. Are you on, Monica?
But that was the only other thing I had, is maybe a press release on the permits and the leaching permits and stuff like that. It would be nice. I think a lot of people would respond better if they've seen a press release saying, and putting a copy of I don't know if to put a copy of the resolution on the website or not, so for them to look at and see, because when they did and I'll wait till Monica gets on, but when they did the resolution, when I seen the first resolution, there was a lot of confusion in it, and then we kind of cleaned it up a little bit and stuff like that, so people can understand it better. So that's the way I look at it. So if you put a press release.
Good morning.
Is that you, Monica?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Let me shut this other down. Okay, so the two resolutions that are there now, one of them is, you'll have to take a look at them. One of them talks about extending last year's harvest permit and recognizing them through this year's, but the council, approved to do that. We have two different things to look at though, is do you want to have no leaching permits this year? Or do you want to, how do we allow new leaching permits? Or do we not want to allow that? That's the question for Mike and his staff.
I think we did talk about this, Monica, about just grandfathering last year's leaching permits, and then.
Right, yeah, and that is included. It's people that didn't have a leaching permit last year that want to leach this year.
Well, I think we talked about
that too, that
a tribal ID would work for that. If somebody couldn't get a leaching permit this year, they would be able to, their tribal ID would be in lieu of their leaching permit. That's what we did talk about that, and that's what I thought we came up with, is that because when I talked to Al and the game wardens, they said, well, if they have a tribal ID and are out, that would be in place of everything that they would need. Just a tribal ID.
So then that's the one resolution then that states no harvest or no leaching permits are needed this year.
Okay.
For that.
That's the second.
So that would be up to the council to decide. So there's leaching permits and there's harvest permits. There's two different things.
Didn't we talk about only fighters and rollies?
Yeah.
And so that's where I think last week it was only recognizing last year's leaching permits. And so we need to take care of people that want to leach this year that did not have a permit last year.
Okay, yeah.
And how do we do that?
Why are members only?
Yeah. Monica, can you get out a statement somehow to the public, like a call-in number? Because I get a lot of calls on this too, and I just tell them to go to the website and get a hold try to get a hold of you.
I'm sorry, it's really breaking up. I can't hear.
A press release. If we can get a press release out, Monica, on this. Did you hear me?
I still can't hear.
Liz, you're gonna
Liz.
What? Is it?
Can you hear us now, Monica?
Can you hear?
No, it's really breaking up.
We can talk about it. I can call Monica when we get done here and work on a press release. So.
I got a few questions for her though, fortunately.
Yeah, hang on, Monica, I'm gonna try and call you on your cell phone.
Look. Oh, there it's better.
Is it better now?
Now it's better. Yes, it is, a lot better. So the press release we can definitely do. I mean, that's something we've got, Chanda's ready to work on the language, with us for it. Candace is ready to work with Will on how we do the leach drawing for the refuge. It's just making sure that we have all the pieces in place before we do this. And so I would think today we should be able to get some of this figured out, depending on which resolution you want to pass.
The only thing I had was that it all wraps around the tribal IDs and stuff like that. I know Monica.
I think that, I mean, the whole point of doing this is so that the safety of DMV staff.
Yes.
But then we want to make sure that everybody has the chance to leach too, especially with the situation that everybody is in.
Yeah, the only other thing was enforcement, because when I talked to Al, he talked a little bit about whether the enforcement is that if people can't get their tribal IDs they lost, then we have to call dispatch and get an enrollment check on them and stuff like that, which is no big deal, but that's going to be the other thing. Identity is going to be the other thing for people out there that are actually harvesting, and the identifying them is going to be one of the problems that Al had mentioned to me, but I think we can get around that. I think we can.
And we'll just have to work through it. I mean, we can't think of everything that's going to happen. We just want to make sure individuals are covered, so that they're not getting citations and stuff. So
more or less implementing the 1855 treaty rights, then, in other words.
That'd be great.
On the reservation.
Yeah, yeah. So it's really, you know, it's how you guys want to look at it. I mean, the other thing is when you have no leaching permit, then you've got a lot of people out there leaching.
Yeah.
So that can get to be a lot of work too.
Hey, Monica, I got another question for you.
Sure.
Is Dustin Roy, is he our pesticide guy and stuff like that?
Yes, he is. He was working at the EOC, but now he's working remote right now.
Because I have some concerns
So he's
about
doing
that.
pesticide stuff now.
So I have some concerns about that farmer that's right across the highway over there in the Pine Point Village over there. I want somebody to get a hold of him and have him not spray over there if possible this year. I know it's not on the tribal land, but it's right across the road from us over there.
Okay. Do you have a name or I can have, if you want to just get information to Liz too, and she can send it to me.
Okay.
And I can have Dustin follow up on it.
Okay.
Good.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Monica.
So what do you think about, well, you have the 2 permits. Which one do you think that you want to go with?
2 resolutions, Reed?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the 2 resolutions. I mean, I don't know if you want to talk about it more and address this later, just so Mike knows, you know, what's going to happen today.
I mean, if both resolutions are gonna cover what we need, I wouldn't see a problem with either, both of them. I mean, because, that's
Okay.
and as long as it gets to where we're gonna get to with it, so. If you felt that the first one didn't cover the leaching permits and you got a second one there, I guess we can, that's, because it's gonna, the press release is gonna have to, gonna have to have all the information in there too, so.
Yeah, and that's what Shanda wants to work at, making sure it covers everything and we address everybody. So, this is a situation for you that had permits last year. This is a situation for individuals that don't have permits and what they need to do to be recognized and so on, just so we can, we'll have everything all printed out and ready to go.
Okay.
I don't know if you wanted to talk about,
Okay.
I don't know if I would bring it up at all with what the revenue that DMV is probably gonna be out of, but it's been about $4,000 that DMV is gonna be out in revenue, but, I guess
Monica?
that's for the pandemic, so.
Monica, it's Mike.
Mm-hmm.
What about the canoe drawing?
Say that again?
The canoe drawing?
Oh, canoe drawing?
Yeah.
We've had some contact with the casino and they're hoping to, hold off right now as far as advertising it and just kind of wait to see how things are going. It is on the radar right now, but we haven't decided until we get a little bit closer. Just haven't been able to advertise yet. I mean, I think there's a way that, if the casino is up for it, a way to do it without having the gathering. We're going to do like mail-in with this leaching drawing, maybe because that canoe drawing is a mail-in situation also. You just wouldn't be able to have the live gathering if you wanted to pursue this.
Yeah. Then you could probably just do like a video too, like a video type drawing, virtue or something, so.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But we can work with the casino on this. Really, it's a casino. It's mostly their deal. We just assist with all of the individuals, their permits and that kind of stuff. So, but I'll make contact with them and see how they want to proceed.
Okay, be good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.
So now you want me to put something together about just what a couple of different scenarios, how we want to maybe open up next week for appointment only, or even, are we go with, I can put something together this week and I don't know if I need to come back and meet with you guys on Thursday or not with it or next week or something. I could put something together, what we can plan and then just you guys approval on it. So.
Yeah, just work with Ed and get best safety practices. That's all you gotta do. I mean, it's not.
Okay.
Dr. Gardner, and yeah, I mean, it's not hard, so.
And Ray, can you hear me? Ray?
Nope, you have to meet.
No California people up here.
So tell them that they can't go down there then?
I actually wouldn't. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It's breaking, you know, it's, the stay-at-home order, everything else, I don't know. I mean, maybe I look for direction from this table here. Do you want me to bring in 2 people from California to the building to do, because they're gonna have to come in the building?
Well, they were here yesterday for a funeral and they're heading back tomorrow and they just wanted to know if they could get their IDs, and I did call Liz and see if we could find out. But if you don't want them there, that's cool with me. I'll just tell them that, but I know a lot of droughts that they're saying, well, get it done for us. I don't know.
I think I'd tell them that. Not to come.
Or if we could just have, what's your name, go take
Well, you see what? You know, you'll tell them that, if the council feels that we don't want nobody down there.
Yeah, we're just following protocol with the rest of the reservations. None of them are allowing out-of-staters in their buildings or stuff like that either. So just to be
All
on
right,
the
I'll
safe side.
text them and let them know that.
This is Dean Bishop.
If you can't see that to the next, that's in the council. I just asked yesterday, that was approved, so.
Well, Ray, I'll call you when you get done with the meeting, and if we can do it with just like a curbside thing, if we can do it, we'll do it.
That's fine, Mike. I don't wanna overstep the boundary.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay.
I will just text them and let them know that they can't do it.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks.
That farmer's name out there by Pine Point is Wes Hall.
Oh, okay. Oh, bus driver. Okay, I'll give it to her.
Okay, next up is supporting public health capacity in coronavirus preparedness and response grant.
That was the email that you sent me from Cindy. And you wanted it on the agenda for discussion?
Take a break, please.
Yeah, so we can take a break. All right. We'll just take a break. We're going break. Let it run.
Oh, did you, Ellen, you wanted this on. Did you want Cindy on the
Yeah,
phone? Do you want me
yeah,
to have her
I
call
wanted-
in?
Yeah, I wanted her to,
Okay,
I wasn't sure what she wanted.
okay.
Call me back, Maria.
Okay, will do. Yep. Okay,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Is the bus driver over here too?
Yeah, him and his wife, they've been the bus driver for years in
Oh, yeah.
Park Rapids. They've been Pine Point to Park Rapids.